We have good process, okay? And if you'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. Just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call.
Shedeur Sanders made all those teams that had 143 chances to draft him before he went 144th. He shamed all of them.
Shedeur Sanders just lit up the NFL preseason in his first start for the Cleveland Browns, and the buzz is real. Analysts, fans, even the biggest doubters are eating their words after watching him tear up the Carolina Panthers. Let's break it down.
He's a great young quarterback coming from he's a great dad. I'm excited to have him on.
It's no longer news if you've been following way before the 2025 NFL Draft. Shedeur Sanders was a lightning rod for criticism. Despite having a solid time at Colorado, earning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, the doubts and criticisms never ceased.
Well, I expected to be back down here at some point today to talk about the drafting of Shedeur Sanders, or worst case scenario for him, the non-drafting in any of the 7 rounds by Shedeur Sanders. I didn't expect to be talking about Shedeur Sanders' selection by the Cleveland Browns. With pick number 144 in round 5, Sanders becomes the 5th quarterback on the Cleveland depth chart. It would have made a lot more sense if they hadn't taken Dillon Gabriel in round 3. It would have made a lot more sense if they hadn't traded for Kenny Pickett.
Scouts and analysts questioned his arm strength, saying he lacked the elite zip for NFL throws. Some called him a product of Deion Sanders' system, leaning on his dad's coaching and stacked Buffs offense. Others nitpicked his 4A college record, claiming he couldn't handle high-pressure situations. Some called him overhyped or too Hollywood blah blah.
He has a lot of mental horsepower. He played the game at a high level. It's as simple as that. But if you go into this whole evaluation process and you're already biased towards feeling as though you want to emphasize the negative, whatever, and I'm not saying that's the case for me, but if you want to emphasize some things that really don't have anything to do with on the football field and you get caught up in all the rest of it, it can start skewing your judgment as to what this young man actually brings in terms of value. And I think that's kind of the arena that we're in right now. We're not even really debating whether or not he can play the position.
The narrative was brutal. A 5th round pick, 144th overall, who slid from a projected first rounder because teams were scared to give their honest opinion about his game, per NFL insider Diana Rossini. It was just like everyone were buying into this perception of Shedeur that was just weird. Fast forward to August 8th, 2025, Browns vs. Panthers preseason week 1. Shedeur, a 5th rounder, buried as QB4 behind Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dillon Gabriel, got the start due to injuries. And he delivered. He went 14 for 23 for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and added 19 yards rushing on 4 carries, leading the Browns to a 30-10 blowout. His first touchdown was a beauty, a tight window throw to Caden Davis, perfectly placed to beat multiple defenders. His mobility popped too. A 20-yard scramble had ex-users hype, with the NFL's official account posting Shedeur Sanders with a very entertaining scramble. He showed poise, reading coverages, avoiding sacks, and making quick decisions. Seeing the way he tore it up, narratives started shifting and opinions have started switching. The reaction on X was instant and wild. Robert Griffin III went all in, posting, Shedeur Sanders' decision-making has been NFL level. His pocket presence has been NFL level. His field vision has been NFL level. His playmaking ability has been NFL level. But we already knew that. Richard Sherman was floored by a touchdown pass, tweeting, "Wow at Shedeur Sanders, what a throw, dime." Fans were just as hyped. Some claimed it a conspiracy that Shedeur stayed QB4 postgame.
Success! How could you make this man QB4? Easily a starter. Perfect timing, come on!
While even LeBron James jumped in posting, "That young man looking good out there. Keep going up." Still, the vibe was clear. Those that remained believers of Shedeur had their bragging rights once again, and Shedeur had folks who doubted rethinking their takes. Analysts who doubted him started backtracking. Analysts like Louis Riddick, who came up openly to clarify stuff, and others who had been lukewarm and stirred controversy with draft comments have been indirectly trying to shift the narrative by hyping Shedeur's potential. Dan Orlovsky, who pushed back on the setup to fail talk, doubled down on ESPN's First Take, saying, "He proved to me that he's absolutely demanding of more reps with the second and first teams." Louis Riddick clarified his stance on X, saying, "I never said Shedeur was set up to fail. What I did say was that he wasn't necessarily set up for perfection due to lack of quality reps." The shift was undeniable. Pundits who questioned his readiness were now calling for more reps, with some like Ryan Clark taking shots at Browns owner Jimmy Haslam for reportedly distancing himself from the pick. The haters who called him a system QB, done. The arm strength doubters, quiet after that 138-yard, 2-touchdown night. Shedeur himself has stayed humbled and looking to shut more doubters in the next games. After his standout performance, Shedeur told NFL Network's Aditi Kinkawala, "I don't feel like he took full advantage of the opportunity. It's something to work."
Them receivers, everybody did their part, and I feel like everybody believed.
What do you think changed? What changed?
I would say just the energy. The energy around, I would say, well, since I've been around, the energy around like the Browns, I just feel like overall, it was a different spark. I feel like it was a spark, even though it's a preseason game. Typically, people don't take those too much serious, but like that's our Super Bowl. That's each and every player's Super Bowl. So the change is a family thing. It's a family. You got to be able to go to war with each and every guy and understand, like, we're not playing for ourselves here. We playing for each other, so not making selfish mistakes, not doing that type of stuff, getting through reads, handing the ball off, doing what you got to do. Everybody do their job, and that's how we believe in one another.
Hey, Shedeur, the fact that you played so many plays into the fourth quarter versus the way it's gone in camp with the reps being split, how did that help your comfort level just in flowing with the game?
Well, I say I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable, so that's what it is. I got pockets of finding my rhythm, and I got to get into that quicker, regardless of anything. But overall, I felt like me out there, and I couldn't do it, of course, without the time. I couldn't do it without the play calling. I couldn't do it without anything. So I'm just thankful to even be able to have, the joy of just being on the field overall, then carrying the responsibility of doing the right thing. So that's 2 badges under my belt already.
One game turned the tide. Fans raining praises now call Shedeur a steal and QB1 material. Analysts are projecting him to climb the depth chart, though Stefanski is holding firm on Flacco as QB1 for now. If Shedeur keeps this up against the Eagles in Week 2, the franchise QB talk will only get louder. Teams that passed on him, like the Titans, who took Cam Ward first overall, are probably sweating. For now, Shedeur's got the NFL world buzzing, and the haters are running out of ammo. So there it is. Shedeur Sanders just flipped the script in one preseason game. Fans are hyped, analysts are backtracking, and the kid's just getting started. What's your take? Does Shedeur shut up the doubters, or is it just one game? Hit us up below, and let's keep the conversation rolling.